Hello, brothers and sisters. In this series, Life Class number 54, we're going to build on the foundation laid in number 52 and 53, which is the end is near. And I want to share with you something that not many prophecy watchers piece together. One year when we're doing a book on understanding the end time, that's many years ago, the Lord gave us a very startling revelation. And what is it? That the end of the age has a start. A start date beyond the issue of the manifestation of the prophecy in Daniel 2, the time when that in Daniel 2 will even become to life. But there were a number of things that will be sequential, and it's enough for me to say that the end of the age has actually been unfolding at the turn of the 20th century. A whole lot of things have begun to accelerate, come at repeated, intervals, and to the degree that you can say that that century marked the beginning of an era. Now, mind you, I told you that the end will be like a plane landing from 40,000 feet to when it's about 5,300 to 1,000, then down. It touches the ground. Now, what is it that happened that makes me say this? One of the prophecies that was given by Joel, Prophet Joel in Joel 2, 28, 29, it shall come to pass afterward that I'll pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, your old men shall see visions, your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions, and upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit. Now, that is a prophecy that I believe has double application, like a bookend, open and close. So, at the beginning of 20th century, we see that prophecy fulfilled. And I believe at the close of the age, shortly before the Great Tribulation, we're going to see another full infusion of Holy Spirit in the earth realm. But let's go. Now, what happened? What Peter said in Acts 2:14 to 18, that the prophecy was being manifested, what Joel said, but he also said, it's for you and your children unto many that the Lord will call. Now, what happened in the 20th century? At the turn of the 20th century, something significant happened. There were a lot of moves over the years, John Hus, Martin Luther, John Wesley and Charles Wesley, the Moravians, and different movements. But then, the Topeka outpouring by Charles Parham in 1904, and then more importantly, the Azusa Street revival on April 12, 1906 in Azusa Street, when William Seymour and his band of people were filled with Holy Spirit, and from there, the Pentecostal movement started. And the end of the age was preceded by that experience, or was kickstarted by that experience, because what happened next is enough to tell you that there's something very significant about that Azusa Street. Okay, now what happened? Let's look at a number of them. Okay, in the year 1914, just 9 years after Azusa Street, World War I, or the Great War. You remember what Yeshua said, there'll be wars and rumors of wars, but the end is not yet. 1914, World War I ended in 1919. Then 1917, the Bolshevik Revolution, which turned Russia from a monarchy to the mother of communism first and then socialism later. Then that 1917, in December, the British soldiers led by General Allenby recaptured Jerusalem from the Ottoman Turks. That was huge. That was significant. The Ottoman Turks had held Jerusalem for years, and so the British soldiers, and the account is that they didn't fire a shot, because when people heard that the army of General Allenby was coming, the Islamic people in Jerusalem interpreted it to be Allah's messenger, Allenby. And they laid down their arms and fled. And Allenby and the group, General Allenby and his soldiers, went to Jerusalem without firing a shot, and that was their dream. And then 1919, what happened? United States of America, which had run an insular policy, because as far as it was concerned, a huge ocean, Atlantic Ocean, separated it from Europe. It minded its business, confined itself to its backyard. 1919, April 6, USA entered into the First World War, emerged as the man-child, carrying a big stick, speaking with a big voice. And brothers and sisters, what happened? That was it. That was the end of the war. Stepped in for the Allies, and that was it. 1929, the Great Depression, the Wall Street crash, and the Great Depression that wiped out wealth, and so much suffering came. 1939 to 45, World War II. World War II raged powerfully, and America again played a key role in giving the Allied powers victory, and USA had emerged from isolation, from that place where it was insular. It came onto the world stage. The man-child was born, from a political point of view. 1945, birth of the United Nations. The United Nations became the first time the people of the world say, hey, we want to be of one thing. We want to have one governance system to rule us, and we have to pursue global peace and concord. And from San Francisco, where they met, eventually the headquarters came to New York, and it's significant. They didn't make it Sweden or Switzerland. It's on the United States. They cited the United Nations, New York. And 1948, Israel was born. Wow. After 1,640 years in exile, scattered, the only time the people of Judah, had self-rule was a few years. A few years after the Maccabean revolt, they were able to have established what is called the Hasmonean dynasty, the Hasmonean rule, and a few years, Judah had self-rule. The Romans were not there to oppress them, nor the Greeks or the Seleucid Empire. But other than that, from the time of dispersal to Babylon, Israel had been in exile. But sure to the promises that God had made, and we're going to look at them, and one of them, supernaturally, Israel became a nation, was born in a day, according to Isaiah 66 verse 9. It was born in a day. And 1950, the Schuman Doctrine Declaration, followed by the European Declaration in 1951, and the Treaty of Rome, which established the European Economic Community in 1958. All these things were precursors to the formal birth of the European Union in 1992. Men and brethren, it is so important that we understand this. And of course, take note of these things. These are not normal. The end is near. Certain things were triggered. Certain things were being going towards the end and the end and the end. And men and brethren, many people have been sleeping. They are not connecting the dots. We are here to connect the dots for you, so that in connecting the dots, you will know this thing is closed. Brothers and sisters, this thing is closed. Make sure you are not caught napping. Make sure that you are not caught in the wrong things. Marrying, giving in marriage, and eating and drinking, and all those things, and money, pursuit of money. Let the King rule in your heart. Then you are safe. You are secure. Have a blessed day for now. Please share the video and encourage others to come into the same knowledge, and we will get into this thing in a deeper level. The end is near. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for being with us on this program and watching, and we believe you learned something and the Lord bless you. Now it's time to connect with us on our social media platforms. We have a daily live stream on Facebook, Monday all the way to Sunday, every day, about 10:30 a.m. UK time, and that's the same as Nigerian time. And it's either Apostle George Monday to Friday to Thursday, Pastor Grace Friday to Sunday, and then in the evening of Sunday we have two sessions from 5:30 to about 6, after 6 another one up to 7. So please join us on the live stream, and you're going to enjoy it. We also visit our website www.gsom.ac to download free ebooks. This course you just listened to all these lessons, there's an ebook we have free of charge. Everything we do is free. But more importantly, you can actually do your program on, ebooks. You can do your program entirely on ebooks and with this video, or anyone you want. You can also, if you want to do the Yes course or do the masterclass, you can go to www.kingdomboostclub.com and you can subscribe so that you can do it. You can also subscribe to our channels, this YouTube, gsom.tv, and we also have a Telegram channel, GSOM Media. You can send us an email at akclive.tv@gmail.com. We love you dearly, and we want to partner with you to make sure that the body of Yeshua, Jesus, is empowered with truth. Remember, it is the teach, train, equip, activate, and release paradigm. Absolutely free of charge. Have a blessed day, and we'll see you again soon.